back to my channel. I'm so excited to share this video with you guys. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you the 7 habits of highly effective people that I have implemented into my weight loss journey. So if you haven't heard of the 7 habits of highly effective people, it's a book written by Stephen Covey, and it can be applied to any part of your life. So at the start of lockdown, I was reading this book, and actually it got me thinking of how I could apply this to every single part of my life, including my weight loss journey. These habits are so useful, and they've helped me so much in terms of my weight loss journey. And I'm so glad that I was able to apply these. So I can't wait to share my tips with you guys. So let's get on to the video. So the first habit that Stephen recommends is to be proactive. So at the start of lockdown, with everything changing in terms of my routine and the way that I was working and the way that I was spending my time more at home, I really wanted to get into a healthy habit in terms of how I live my life, as well as eating well and exercising on a regular basis. I don't know about you guys, but sometimes in the past, when I was trying to be on a healthy track with my eating and also exercising, sometimes I would fall in the rut of blaming other things around me, i.e. just not having time in the day to exercise, or sometimes just not feeling in the mood or not motivating myself to really just get up and get out and eat well and also be active. Implementing this habit of being proactive, I was taking charge of my own goals. I really like the idea of having ownership of my own situation and really trying to be aware of my daily habits and trying to make the best of the situation. So just by having a proactive attitude, I was able to plan meals in advance, also plan exercise routines in advance, and stick to a really good, healthy routine. Not only did this improve my well-being, but I also had such a good improvement in my sleep. So the second habit that I learned was begin with the end in mind. Now, I think this makes so much sense. And before, when I would try to be as healthy as possible and start a routine, sometimes I'd have that goal in mind, but I wouldn't plan towards it. And with this habit, you're really forced to write down, what is your end goal? How are you planning to even achieve that end goal? Is it realistic? What are you going to do every day to really go towards that end goal? And by planning towards my goal and having the end in sight, I was actually able to keep consistent. So I started by writing my goal target of how I wanted to feel at the end of achieving my goal. And not only was this a mental thing, but also a physical thing. So I wrote down exactly what I wanted to achieve, how many pounds I wanted to lose, whether I wanted to tone up or not, and how I wanted my mental state to improve. It was so nice to actually sit down and write these goals down, because not only did they mean that I was on the right path to achieving the goals, but I was able to plan steps and make sure that I was able to really reach every single target. What I loved about this habit is that just by starting at the end and having the end in sight, it was just a really nice way of just looking at your goal. Often we start with that end goal in sight, but we always forget that along the way. And for me, whenever in the past I've started on a new health kick, or I've motivated myself to work out and do a 30-day challenge, for instance, the first couple of days I'm really proactive, and then I find by the end of the challenge I'm just not as motivated as possible. And so by having the beginning in mind and setting these goals to start with, I was able to plan my exercise routine so that I was able to keep on top and be motivated whilst I was able to reach the end goal. And the third habit that I learned was to put things first. And by this, it was putting at the forefront all of my goals to start a new healthy routine and exercise routine. For me, this is something that I really struggled with in the past. This is such an important lesson that I learned, because in the past, I've always struggled with having excuses for starting things. And sometimes I really struggle to be consistent. We all have busy lives, and sometimes we can really fall foul of just putting those excuses ahead of all of our goals. And life gets in the way, and we feel like we don't have that extra 20 minutes or even 30 minutes to start that exercise or be on top of our health kit. So how I went about this was I really did put my health and my well-being at the forefront of everything that I did. I made sure that I planned a week in advance, and I made sure that I was meal prepping and making sure that I was eating really nutritional food. I made sure that I planned my week 1 week in advance and made sure that I was really fully prepared in terms of meal prep and my exercise routine and every single thing that I was doing to meet that goal for the week. Just by having my meals prepped in advance meant that I wasn't opting for those takeaways. And whenever I felt sluggish or I just didn't have enough energy, there was no excuse because my meal was already planned for, and it was just as simple as just heating it up and just nourishing my body. And just by setting myself that routine and making sure that I planned ahead, I was able to just keep on top of my goal and try and implement small things to really reach that target. Another really good thing that helped me stay on track was entering my meals on a daily basis into MyFitnessPal, which is an app that you can download onto your phone, and I highly recommend it. Not only did this make me keep my macros really consistent, but I was able to monitor my food intake and how much I was losing. And the fourth habit that I learned was to try and always put myself in a win-win situation. So by win-win, I really tried to motivate and involve my family and friends with my challenge. Not only did this keep us all motivated, but we were all working towards the same goal. And by me being successful, I was also helping others to be successful with their own goals. And this was so encouraging for me because not only did it get me out of bed on the days that I didn't want to go out for a run at 6 o'clock in the morning, but it also just helped me stay on track because I was keeping in contact with so many other different people with the same goals and just trying to motivate everyone. But it helped me stay on track. By having a win-win mentality, I was able to focus more on the results rather than blaming the method or people around me or having excuses. I was able to just focus on the results and really just work with other people in the family and my friends to just achieve the same goals. The fifth habit that I implemented was to seek first to understand and then to be understood. It's really just important to listen to your body and how it reacts to certain food or certain exercise. And this habit just helped me so much to understand exactly how to lose weight. I was able to really just develop my knowledge in terms of macros and learning about food that was nutritional and really just helped my body rather than making me feel sluggish. I was also just able to listen to my body in terms of the exercises that I was doing and how it made me feel at the end of it. Just by listening and understanding my body, I was able to react to certain things. So I was able to understand when I felt bloated, when I was eating a certain food, and also to just understand when I was feeling like I was overdoing it or when I had a little bit of joint pain, and reacting to that change to make sure that I still kept on track, but I just adapted my routine to make sure that I was on the best track possible. And just by learning about all of these different things, I was really able to develop my goal further because I was able to adapt my routine and react to change and also just understand more about how to lose weight and keep it off. And I was really able to learn about different types of food and how I was able to nourish my body and keep myself nice and healthy. And just by applying this method, I was really able to just focus and try and understand and develop my knowledge in the long term on how I would lose weight and make sure that I had a healthy routine. Whereas in the past, I would skip this part and sometimes I wouldn't have the knowledge or develop my understanding of a certain routine. And that would be my downfall. So the sixth habit is all about synergy. And I definitely saw more results when I worked in a team with my family and friends to meet our goals together. I was able to have a shared common interest and really work towards my goal with them. So when there was times when I was feeling sluggish, I was able to reach out to them to really motivate me and just keep on track. And without this, I know in the past, I've just failed completely. It's so nice when you have someone who shares the same interests as you and you're working towards the same goal. The seventh habit that I learned is called Sharpen the Saw. So I absolutely love the idea of this habit because it's really focused on renewing you. I know in the past when I'm so focused on a task, especially when it relates to health and fitness, I forget to really check in with myself and see how I'm actually doing mentally as well as physically. And with this goal, it's all about checking in. Just by continuously renewing yourself in any way, shape, or form can really just help you in terms of your self-development. And this habit can be applied to your physical development, your spiritual development, your mental development, and also your social development. So how I did this was at the end of the week, what I did was I had a weigh-in and I also took measurements. So this helped me really track my progress on a week-to-week basis. And every week when I achieved my goal and lost a couple more inches and a couple more pounds, I was so encouraged to keep going for the following week. And this made me eat better, exercise more, and also really focus on my mental state. So making sure that I relaxed and took time off and ensured that I had the best night's sleep. So I found it really helpful to keep a daily journal of my thoughts and also just a food diary in terms of what I was eating and how I was feeling in terms of the food that I was taking. I also kept a daily journal of my thoughts, and this really helped me just check in with myself and understand how I was feeling and the moods I was feeling on a day-to-day basis. I also kept a food journal, which was really good, and it really just helped me become more aware of how I was feeling after I was eating certain foods and made me really adapt and change my diet in a really positive way. I also found daily meditations were so helpful to my health and well-being. Not only did it help me sleep better, but I was less stressed and I was a lot more productive during the day. And by including my friends and family to achieve my goal, I ensured that I had loads of support around me. So for the days that I felt sluggish or slumped or unmotivated, I was able to rely on my friends and family for that motivation. And it just really lifted my spirits and made me so much more committed to just persist and keep at that goal. I would highly recommend these 7 habits because they have completely changed the way that I look at my health and well-being. And not only have these habits helped me in terms of losing weight, they have helped me be consistent, which I was never before. They've also helped me to learn and develop my knowledge around certain areas and understand my body and what works for me. So whether you're looking to lose weight or not, or whether you're just looking to really improve your health and well-being, I would highly recommend these 7 habits that I've learned. And you can implement these not only just to your fitness and your health goals, but you can implement them to anything or any aspect of your life. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching.